Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Beast! Peekaboo, I see you because I'm YouTube famous now. Available summer 2023, the album Dad, Shimmy Shimmy, AF, Rock on Gold Dust, Beast! Woman! How are you guys doing today? Happy Wednesday! You've made it halfway through the week. When you've made it halfway through the week, you need a little bit of lip gloss. When your lips are dry as mine, then it's Luna Beauty time. So I posted a video earlier today about Jaclyn Hill, and it was a video that I had filmed yesterday, but by the time that it got done and publishing and everything like that, it was way too late. So I published it today, so please go check out that video. It is about Jaclyn Hill and her launching this new Get Ready With Me robe, or as I like to refer to it as, putting bacon in a skillet robe, or just got done doing it robe, or whatever you want to call it. So go check out that video. I had a lot to say about Jaclyn Hill. But I started getting sent a lot of DMs today about Jeffree Star and him coming out on Twitter and having a lot to say about this pronoun situation that is continuing to go on day after day after... I mean, Jeffree wants to talk about being bored about this. He gets in these Instagram stories and he says, I'm so bored. I'm so bored with all of this. And I used to feel sorry. I used to feel sorry for these people and think that they were miserable. He always says all this kind of stuff, right? And I'm like, you do realize that you are the person that is continuing to push the conversation, right? Like, you're the one that's coming out and talking about it in daily Instagram stories. You're the one that's coming out and tweeting one thing after another about it. And so, to me, as somebody, if Jeffree Star really wanted this story just to die and to end, and he really didn't care about it, and he really didn't want to be involved in the drama, then he would just let it go. And what's interesting to me is, I was kind of like, I couldn't really figure it out. I was like, why is he pushing this? Like, Jeffree Star has always been somebody in the past that has used drama or drama stories or things that are going on with him as a marketing tool, right? But he isn't launching anything right now. And so I was looking through his Twitter, and what was interesting was he just released a review TikTok today, which he had come out and he had said during the whole Michaela Nogueira thing that he was coming back to do his Jeffree Star approved reviews. And I had gotten a lot of comments on videos that I had done about Jeffree Star when people were like, well, he promised that he was going to come out and do these reviews, and he still hasn't come back and done a lot of reviews yet. So where are the regular reviews? Jeffree Star also said that he was going to come out, and he had already filmed a tell-all TikTok that he was going to put up. It was several weekends ago. That TikTok never came out. I don't know why he didn't post that TikTok. I don't know what, you know, whatever. But he did post 2 Instagram stories. And in both Instagram stories, he kind of insinuated some things about other people. Like in one that I showed yesterday, he said something about, except for those 2 people that tried to take me out or whatever, pointing the finger at Tati and James Charles indirectly, kind of, that's what people are assuming, that it was Tati and James Charles, that they tried to take him down or something like that, right? And it's interesting when you go back, and it's like, Jeffree Star is always somebody that kind of likes to try to, like, rewrite the narrative of what happened. And I'm like, I don't really remember it being that way. I don't remember it as James Charles and Tati trying to take Jeffree Star down. That's not how I remember that happening at all. But we can do a history lesson. I can come on here and do a video of what happened at that time for people that forget. I'm more than willing to do that. But anyway, I was looking, and Jeffree Star, he did post, hold on a second, he posted 7 hours ago, new makeup review is now live, blush battle, Dior versus Too Faced, watch. And so I'm like, oh, so I get it now, right? Like, and he just has come out in these Instagram stories and talked about how TikTok is so fantastic, his reviews are thriving over there. So I'm wondering, is all of this drama that he is perpetuating about the pronoun situation, is that all just so that he can get a lot of people to go over and watch his TikToks because they think that he's going to say something in one of his TikToks that's going to reference this? I don't know, because I can't really figure out what other reason that he would be so active. And, you know, he said, I think people are like, you know, they're confused why, you know, Miss Jeffree Lynn is like going out of the house and all this kind of stuff, Miss Girl. He called all of us Miss Girl. So anyway, which I thought was kind of funny. But anyway, he's like, I'm back, I'm doing this, I'm blah, 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 whatever, and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, okay, so you're making your announcement now that you've made your announcement that you're doing Jeffree Star approved reviews over on TikTok, okay? Then it took you a while to come out and do those reviews. Now you're doing these reviews, and now all of the drama is stirring up around these reviews, which, if you go back 6.5 years to when I started doing drama, those first 2 to 3 years, this was very consistent. Love him or hate him, it was very consistent with what Jeffree Star would do. He would stir up drama, and it would all be around the release of a video, or the release of a palette, or some marketing tactic. It was always, there was a lot of drama that was surrounding it. And that was kind of, you know, one of his marketing techniques that he used to get people to talk about it. Now, smart or not, I don't know. You know, I've talked about this a lot in the past, that, you know, there were these, like, gossip columnists and things like that back in the day, like Luella Parsons from the 40s and things like that, that would go to these movie parties where there was a lot of celebrities, and they would see, you know, like, Clark Gable and Olivia de Havilland, like, smoking a cigarette and kissing in the corner, you know? And then she would write up something, you know, in her gossip column, and then everybody would be like, oh, I want to go see Gone with the Wind. Like, who's Clark Gable with, right? And it would get all of the people that were interested in the celebrities interested in going to see the movie because they wanted to, you know, be interested in the lives of these people. It's really not a whole lot different than that. I mean, it's kind of a business model that's old as time. The thing is that Jeffree Star was really the first beauty influencer that used drama to his advantage. I don't necessarily think that it's a stupid move. What I think is interesting is that he always acts like he can't be bothered to be in drama. But when you sit back and you look at it, okay, because he can't come out and say, well, I'm using drama to push, you know, people in the direction of watching my reviews or buying my palettes or stay interested in me and staying relevant, right? Like, I think that we think in 2023 that to say, well, I'm doing something to stay relevant is like, it's saying something bad about somebody. Why would you not want to stay relevant, you know? But he can't come out and say that. He can't come out and say, well, of course I want to be involved in drama. Of course I want people to be talking about me. Of course I want all this kind of stuff, because if people are talking about me and I'm on their lips and all this kind of stuff, then they're going to watch my TikToks. They're going to buy my products because I'm going to be on their minds, right? He can't come out and say that, right? So what does he do? He does the opposite, which is he goes, oh, I'm so bored with this, and people are always, he has to, right? Like, that's part of the charade that he has to play for this marketing technique to get people interested in him, you know? And I'm not saying that it's stupid. I'm just saying that's what's going on here. So let's not act like, you know, we don't really know what the game is and that he's pushing this. What's interesting is today he has been, in the last couple days, since all of this has happened and this podcast has come out and whatever, he's been very, very active, especially on his Instagram stories. And today he's been very active on his Twitter. So I thought we would go through here and we would decipher this. Now, for somebody that wants to come out, and I did a whole video yesterday, please go check it out, where I talked about him coming out and saying that they, them pronouns were bullshit that people created during the pandemic. I did a whole video talking about that yesterday. What's interesting to me about this is that he's come out in these Instagram stories and he's like, it's just my opinion, it's how I feel, blah, 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 whatever. Okay, he said that. So if you feel that way, what is the need to continue to push that? Like, I don't if it's just your opinion and that's how you feel, you've put your opinion out there, it was in a podcast, you've now put it out there in 4 Instagram stories, okay? You've said you're gonna sue any news outlet that gets you wrong or misconstrues what you say. What is the point in continuing to perpetuate it, okay? Unless you're just trying to be petty. And that's what you're doing is like, but I'm confused because didn't Jeffree Star say that he doesn't like drama anymore and he could care less? And in Shane's Dawson's series, his last series, which Jeffree Star sent us to, if you watched my video yesterday, and I had clips of it in there, he said go watch Shane's last video where I talk about leaving YouTube. In that series, he said he doesn't even get on his phone. He like hardly even checks his phone during a day. So for somebody that is not consumed with drama and somebody that hardly gets on their phone, it's interesting to me that he seems so completely just immersed in all of this, and he's tweeting out one thing after another. So let's go in here and let's look at the things that he's tweeted out the last couple days. So 5 days ago, on the heels of this podcast, he put up this picture, and it's him, and he's at the Sports Illustrated party, and he's wearing this dress, which I think is a Monn dress, and he says, the only male in a dress at the Sports Illustrated red carpet party last week. 100%. 20 years in the game, being a gender-bending freak. F your labels, I'm bored, okay? So this is on the heels of the podcast and people really starting to talk about it and things like this. And he comes out with this picture of him standing there in a dress and all this kind of stuff. Now, some of the comments were interesting to me, I thought, and it was, you know, him talking about F labels and F this and whatever, and people were saying things like, there's been a lot of people that have been really supportive of Jeffree Star and said that they completely 100% agree with him, and then there have been a lot of people that have been, to be honest with you, like, in my 6.5 years, I have really not seen a story that has been so polarizing. That's like, I mean, people usually, when you're talking about something, it's like, okay, like this person, you know, said something and did something that was really wrong or this, whatever. Like this is kind of like split down the middle. Like people either really agree with him or people really don't. And there are a lot of people that were old fans of Jeffree's that are very, very hurt by Jeffree. In fact, I got this DM from somebody and she said, my feelings are really hurt. And she responded to Jeffree, and she, when he put this thing up about the interview, and she said it's about being respectful. You legally changed your name, and we use it, meaning that he changed his name to Jeffree Star. Using someone's preferred pronouns is the same thing. The only ones you should be talking about are the neo-pronouns, and then they have been existed since the 14th century. And Jeffree Star responded to her and said, wow, another complete idiot. I changed the last letter of my first name. It's still the same. How low is your IQ? Okay? And then he went in and he blocked her. So, and she sent me this screenshot where it says, you are blocked from following Jeffree Star. And she said in there that my feelings are really hurt. And she said, I defended Jeffree for years like he was paying me to, and this is what I get. So you can't come out and say anything against Jeffree Star without him, you know, taking issue with that, right? And there are a lot of people, like I said, that are agreeing with him and saying, and you know, like, this is the thing. My friend Tanya and I were talking about this not too long ago. It's like, I feel that, and this is, I feel like, as a result of social media, mostly, like mostly on Facebook and Twitter. I feel like you can't have a conversation about something, right? That like maybe we can share our opinion. Or, I mean, I don't know, like there's so many people that are like, I agree with this, I don't agree with this, or whatever. Why are we not having a conversation with people that identify as non-binary and use they, them pronouns and asking them what this experience is like for them and what they think about it? You know, half of them probably say, I could give a rat's ass what Jeffree Star says. You know, others of them probably say, I looked up to him and, you know, I feel this way. And some of them probably say, it really hurts my feelings, and some of them say, I really don't care. I could care less, you know, and it is what it is. And so I don't understand why we have this inability to have a conversation in 2023 of sharing our opinions, okay? You know, I got a comment on my video yesterday, and somebody said something about, I really hope that you address your audience, my audience, okay? Like, as if everybody that watches every single one of my videos is like, you know, like I'm a king and these are all of the people that are like looking up to me and I like tell them exactly what to do, right? I leave my comment section open and I do not delete comments on this channel, specifically because I want people to be able to have an open dialect, an open conversation, or open dialogue, an open conversation of how they feel about things. I have at times, okay, and I haven't done this in a very, very long time, but when people make really, like, hurtful, like you should, you know, do harmful things to yourself, or somebody should do harmful things to themselves, I will delete. I usually just block that person, right? But there are a lot of people in there. I got a mermaid up in my comment section. She is the biggest Jeffree Star fan in the entire world. I don't care. I'm like, hey girl, watch my videos, comment what you want to comment. I respect that. Let's have a conversation about it, you know? But we seem to not be able to have the ability to have conversations anymore and share other people's experiences and learn from it, and not just say I agree or I don't agree because of this, of where I stand, but to say, okay, let me listen to what you have to say, and then let me form my own opinion. Then let me share my opinion with you as well, and let's have a dialogue about that, right? Like we can't do that anymore. Like that, it's like somebody always wants to get, you know, the very last tweet out, or they want to get the very last response, or they want to get the Facebook post that has the most likes on it because it's the most controversial or whatever. And it's like, but we've really stopped getting to know one another and having a conversation about it. And that's really what I said in my video yesterday, that I think that it kind of confuses the conversation a little bit, right? You know, and the thing that made me sad, I will say this, because I didn't agree with a lot of the comments that I got in my video yesterday, but that's okay. That's okay that I don't agree with it. I don't ever expect to agree with a lot of the comments that I got on my videos, and I don't own those, and that's not my responsibility, okay? Just because somebody watches my videos and they comment on my videos does not make me responsible for their response, period, end of story, okay? I thought we dealt with that 3 to 4 years ago. I don't know why that's something I need to say today. You know, I'm not the gatekeeper of the people that watch my videos. So, it is what it is. But, you know, I said this yesterday, and there were a lot of people that kind of like took issue with this, and I didn't understand why. It was like I said, I just don't understand why we can't be respectful of one another. Why we can't, you know, and then there were people that said, well, it's not about respect. It's about like, these are, you know, stupid pronouns to use. I'm not saying how you feel, okay? I'm not talking about whether you think they're stupid, or I'm talking about respecting another human being. And then people were like, well, you can't force me to change or force me to use these words. Nobody's forcing you to use these words. Nobody's forcing you to do this. All I'm saying is, can we be just a little bit kinder to one another? Can we be just a little bit more respectful to one another? Is it really that hard at the end of the day? You know, all of these issues that we see going on in the world, you know, maybe it would make it a little bit easier for us to get through some of them if we were a little bit kinder to one another and we saw each other, you know, I don't know, as human beings that are just trying to get by in life instead of picking each other apart constantly, you know? And like, and I know people always come over here and they're like, well, you a hate boner for this person. I don't have a hate boner for anybody. I turn off my camera and I'm done thinking about it for the day, you know, is really how I feel. But at the same time, I try to be really, sit on the outside and be really fair to these people, you know? I really do. I think Jeffree Star has an absolute 100% right to his opinion. And a lot of people yesterday were like, well, you're saying Jeffree doesn't have a right to his opinion. He has a right to his opinion. Absolutely. Just like people that don't agree with Jeffree have a right to his opinion, you know? But an opinion isn't about respect or kindness. You know, there's a lot of people in this world that I don't necessarily respect, you know, or I don't necessarily agree with their opinion, but yet I respect them and I show them respect as a human being. I don't have to like come at them with arms raised, you know. Now, if somebody is going to say something that is absolutely offensive to me as a person, then I'm going to say, no, wait a second. We need to have a conversation about this. We need to talk because you're offending me as a person and my human experience, which you know nothing about whatsoever. So we need to have a conversation about this, okay? You need to maybe take a few steps back, and if you're open to that conversation, you know? And most times, 9 times out of 10 in this world, I have been offered the ability in my personal life. But when it comes to social media, it's like everybody just wants to get in the last word, you know? I don't know, so that your tweet gets retweeted the most times. Who effing cares at the end of the day? Does it really matter? You know, it's kind of sad and pathetic to me, really. You know? I mean, do you ever put down your phone and actually interact with people? Is this how we interact with people? I don't know. So anyway, Jeffree Star posted that, And then he came out and he posted another picture of himself, and he said, it's this picture of himself, and he said, "Good morning from the voice of reason. How are you? Hashtag Jeffree Star, hashtag androgyny, hashtag F labels." And what's interesting to me is that he says he's the voice of reason, okay? So now what you're saying is that you are the only voice of reason and nobody else is. And this is where Jeffree Star, I feel like, he comes across, and this is the arrogance, the ego, and the pride that the people that defend him say, no, he's not. He's not arrogant, ego, and pride. Well, when you say you're the voice of reason, what you're saying is anybody else that has opinion different than mine or has something else to say is not the voice of reason. I'm the only one, right? Okay, so there's that. And then, hold on a second. Then he put out this one, and it's a picture of him, and he's got like this black wig on, and he said, "I usually only wear black hair when I'm filing a lawsuit, firing someone, or pretending I care about someone's unwanted opinion." And so even though he says, "I'm peaceful, I'm serene, I'm the happiest I've ever been, my business is thriving, I'm doing so fantastic," he's constantly putting up these kind of like, you know, poking the bear kind of tweets out there. I don't really understand it. And Jeffree Star hasn't done this for a very long time. In fact, I was thinking before while I was setting up my ring light, you know, it's interesting. In talking about this, somebody made a comment yesterday about, like, Jeffree Star, you know, for a long time was just selling yak meat or whatever. And I thought, you know, I had made this comment not too long ago. Jeffree Star had really done a really great job of staying out of drama for a very, very long time. You know, for a long time, he wasn't getting involved in it. And really, he was on his ranch, and he seemed very happy. And he was doing his yak meat, and, you know, he had his museum, and he's starting and all this kind of stuff. I'm not really sure what has occurred in the last month that has made Jeffree to the point where he has now come out, and we are seeing significant signs of who Jeffree Star was 4 to 6 years ago, with the one tweet after another, with coming for people and his, you know, audience and things like that. And it's interesting because I got this comment, hold on a second, and somebody said, I posted my video up on Twitter yesterday, and somebody said, "I wondered how long it would take him to start treating his audience the way he supposedly treated people around him, and here it is." And somebody said, "You hit the nail on the head. I've been following him on Twitter today, and he is nasty." You know, and so here we go. It's Jeffree Star from yesteryear, where he's coming out and he's saying things to people again, you know, unless you completely agree with him. And he's blocking people left and right that don't agree with him. This is the old school Jeffree. I'm not really sure what happened. You know, I don't get it. You know, but yet he says he's the most peaceful that he's been. I hope he is. I hope he's happy, you know. He has a life beyond his wildest dreams. He has a successful business. He has a TikTok career that is thriving. You know, it's maybe not doing as well as his YouTube career, but people seem to really like him over on TikTok, and he's doing very well. I hope he is happy, you know. I think his ranch is gorgeous. You know, I poke fun about the yaks and the camels and all that kind of stuff, but I think it's cool. You know, I do. Like, I think, like, I don't know. I don't think the yaks, like, selling them for meat is nice, but that's just my personal opinion. I get the whole idea of ranching and farming and all that kind of stuff, so please don't come for me. But, you know, other than that, like, I mean, it's beautiful when he shows the snow and all that stuff. I'm like, God, put me out there. I would love it, you know, read a cozy mystery and make a pot of coffee. You know, so I hope he is happy. I don't know why he is engaging in all of this again. And then he comes out and he posts his 7 hours ago, new makeup review is now live. And then he posted this Daily Loud, said, "Celebrity Jeffree Star trashes pronoun culture. They and them is made up, S-H-I toot." And he said, "I said what I said. It's not that complicated." So if you said what you said and it's not that complicated, why are you continuing to come out and say what you said again and again and again and again? You said what you said, so just leave it. Why do you need to continue to say it over and over and over again? Are you afraid people didn't hear you? Or are you just wanting to continue this and have people continue to talk about you? So I don't know. And then somebody said, "Sis, you identified as alien at one point. I don't know if they, them is that hard to get." And he said, "An alien is a noun." And clearly I was being sarcastic when I said that. I honestly feel bad for how stupid some of these people are. I pray for them daily. You know, I mean, maybe the people are stupid. I don't know. But I do think that at the time that he came out and he sold his alien palette as a result of saying that, because he had referred to himself as an alien for a long time, and I remember covering that back in the day. And I think that what he doesn't understand about that, and this is where he's calling much of his audience stupid, is that people to some degree maybe they didn't really know what he meant by being an alien, but I think they related that, no, we didn't believe that he was an extraterrestrial from another planet, okay? But that he related this idea of, I don't fit into any kind of box, right? And so I think there were a lot of people that were like, I get it. Like, I like this, you know, that I don't fit into any box either. I don't feel like that way. And so that he said that. And now he's saying, I'm not an alien. Okay, I never was. It was sarcasm. It was all just to sell this palette. And so there's these people that are out there, and this is where I said it confuses the conversation, that are like, I don't understand. Like, you did say that. Now you're saying that we're stupid for believing it. But back then, you said it, and you said it to Shane Dawson. You said it multiple times in videos. There's clips of it that people have sent to me. You know, and it's like you said it in a way that maybe it wasn't truly deep down how you, like, felt or identified. But to some degree, it was like a term that you used that made you kind of understand your existence a little bit more. That's all I can think at that time. You know, and Jeffree Star has the right to change his opinion. You know, that's the other thing, is like maybe he felt one way down the, you know, in the past, and down the road he's changed his opinion. He has absolutely every right to change his opinion, you know? But maybe just explain that to people a little bit. So he came out and he said that, and then somebody said, you can be non-conforming without being an attention seeker and a bully. Weapon of choice, pronouns. If you're truly non-conforming, you don't give a F what your pronouns are. Conforming is being a they, them, zer, z, or zer, zir. It's a social contagion and the biggest pick of our era. Well, first of all, when somebody says, if you're truly non-conforming, you don't give a F what your pronouns are, I'm not really sure that that's a generalized statement that somebody is allowed to make in a tweet, that you know every non-binary person in the entire world that they don't give an F about pronouns. Maybe there are some non-binary people that do care about pronouns. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm sure that there are some non-binary people out there that do very much care about their pronouns, you know? And Jeffree Star responds to that, and he said this 100% 3 times. And then somebody said, Jeffree Star, the one man who taught me how to be myself and not give a F what people think. Hey, how are ya? And he retweeted that. And then he said, I wish I could invent a concealer that could cover up someone's stupidity. So now he's calling anybody that doesn't agree with him, or anybody that's saying that they take issue with his opinion or whatever. It's an opinion, okay? Everybody's got an opinion. To say that, you know, whatever, that I don't agree with Jeffree Star's opinion makes me stupid. No, it's my opinion. I have a right to my opinion, just like Jeffree Star has a right. And this whole thing started with Jeffree Star getting in a podcast and sharing his opinion. And now what Jeffree Star is saying is, anybody that doesn't agree with me is stupid, okay? You're all stupid. You know, and it's all based in science, is what he always says. It's science, you know. Where's your scientific facts? And then he retweets this clip from the podcast, and then he shows this Instagram reel. Watching makeup being applied is like therapy to me. And then it goes on, and it's his pinned comment about the winter collection, and that's it. So, I don't know. It's interesting to me. You know, it's like, what's going on here? Why are you needing to bring so much attention to this now if you really are so at peace with this? And it really is just, you know, like he said, it's just not that deep. Then put it out there and then let it go. And, you know, and are you having a problem with people having conversations about it? You know, let people have conversations about it. You know, I mean, you can't control everybody, like I said. There are going to be some people that agree with you, and there are going to be some people that don't agree with your opinion. You know what I mean? And, you know, it is what it is. You said something in a podcast, and you're the one that's coming out in multiple Instagram stories, multiple tweets, and defending this, and yet you're at the same time kind of talking out of both sides of your mouth, saying, well, it's really not that deep, but then tweeting out 5 times, and then putting out 5 Instagram stories, telling everybody it's not that deep, and all this kind of, I don't know. I'm confused. I don't get it. I don't get it, Miss Girl. I don't. Woo! Anyway, let me know what you think about all of that in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.